Recording.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, for those of you on my team who don't know, Andria is another double diamond. I met her a year ago, probably almost to the day, I would say, at Ashley's house. We were invited there for a training for non-diamonds. So people who hadn't gone diamond yet, and I met her there for the first time. And I was an emerald at the time. I don't know what you were.
I think I just went emerald as well.
Yeah. So our businesses have kind of been pretty even. I know that we both have similar strengths and weaknesses, but we also have different struggles. So like I'm super shy, introverted. She works full time. She's a mom. So we'll touch on different parts of that. Anyway, so we're going to start by sharing our story so that my team gets to know her and her team gets to know me. So Andrea, you can share your story first.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know me, like she said, I'm Andria. My friend Christina signed me up. I've been a customer for about the last 3 years. I was a really bad customer though. Like I don't even think I finished my auto shipment one time, and then I started ordering again. So I didn't take all my before and after pictures like I was supposed to, but just kind of sporadically ordering. My friend Christina, she had been trying to get me to sign up for 3 years. I was a single mom. I don't have any help with my kids. I've always, been working 2 to 3 jobs at a time just to make ends meet and just do whatever I have to do. I do photography, and then I also manage a hotel full time, and I just do all kinds of things. So she kept asking me, and I kept saying no because I hadn't been involved in other marketing companies before. And in those companies I've been involved with, I wasted a lot of time. I wasted a lot of money. And as a single mom, I was like, I don't have time to work this business, and I don't have the money. I'm not wasting any money, and I don't have any money to spend on my business. So I just kept telling her no. So finally, a year and a half ago, she asked me, okay, so I'm doing a free wrap drawing. Will you take these cards to the girls at work and get them to fill out their information? And I'm going to do a free wrap drawing. And I was like, oh, I can do that. That's easy. So I took the drawings to work, and I took them to some housekeepers. And mind you, I do their payroll. I know they do not make a lot of money. I took them these wrap drawings and catalogs. Well, all of them were asking me all these questions about all these products. Well, I knew a little bit because I've been seeing her annoying posts for 3 years, and, I'd unfollowed her, and I don't want to see belly pictures and all that. Well, they started asking me questions, so I went to her Facebook page and was like, well, here, check out these pictures, check out these pictures. So before I knew it, all of these girls gave me $25, and they were like, can she come wrap us tomorrow? And I was like, seriously? Okay. So I told my friend, I was like, I don't think that they even filled out the wrap drawings, but hey, here's $100 and they want to wrap like tomorrow. Can you come? And she's like, yeah, sure. She was all excited. And then I was kicking myself in the butt because I saw $100 and I'm like, these people could have been my people. I could have just made $100. And so I was like, okay, here's $100. And I was like, man, I should have listened to you this whole time. And she said, well, it's, $100 to buy your business kit. So use that money and purchase your kit. And then when the wraps come in, give the girls the wraps. So that's how I accidentally signed up. She kind of came in through the back door to get me to sign up. When I just started to sell wraps. I didn't promote my first 2 months because I really didn't, I hadn't seen the newbie to Ruby. I hadn't even seen any of that. I was just selling wraps to get money for gas, to get money for my electric bill, stuff like that. It was nice having extra money for groceries. So I signed up the end of December, and all I was doing was selling wraps in December and January. The end of January, I heard, oh, if you build a team, you can promote. And so that's just kind of where it all started. Then once I found out you could grow a team and promote, that's when I started working hard. And so I went diamond in 7 months and then double diamond shortly after. So
I mute myself in case my dog barks.
It's okay. Lindsay, whenever you introduce yourself to my team, because a lot of them don't know you, I know that you say that you're introverted, which I was like seriously surprised because when you're at Ashley's, you're like talking to everybody. Yeah. So, I mean, you don't seem introverted at all to me. So I felt more shy than you actually. So I would also love if you could also share a little bit about how you kind of overcome that in your business. So.
Okay. Well, it's funny. I didn't know that you were a customer first. I was too. I know Alyssa from way back. We weren't really good friends or anything, but I knew her. And it was around the last time we kind of crossed paths was when Facebook was a thing for high schoolers. So we kept in touch through Facebook. And by keep in touch, I mean, I just saw her pictures on her newsfeed. So I was aware what she was doing this whole time. I saw her pictures, and 3 years ago, it was, the beginning of her business, because I think she was Emerald, and she went Emerald super fast. Because I remember that, because I remember her promotion picture, and I was like, what the heck does Emerald even mean? Like,
right.
And anyway, I messaged her, and I was like, I have to try these wraps. They look like magic, and I need to try them. And so I became a loyal customer, and I loved them. I tried Defining Gel, and then I tried Fat Fighters, and I turned off my auto ship. I love the products. I just couldn't afford them. So she thought this whole time that I didn't like the products, and I did. I just couldn't afford them. I did my 3 months to get the products that I wanted, and that was it. And I couldn't justify buying anymore. So that was years and years ago. And I am single, and I, by trade and degree, am a graphic designer, which I loved. It's what I had wanted to do since I was 15 years old. I always knew that's what I wanted to do. And I loved my job, but the art field does not make a lot of money. There's just not a lot in it. It's a very rewarding field to be in, and that's why there's so many starving artists, because it's so great if that's what your passion is, but it's so hard to make any money doing it. And so I was able to pay my bills, and I wasn't in any debt or anything. But that's it. I couldn't travel, and I love traveling. I have dreams to go to Europe and spend like weeks there, but I'm like, well, that'll never happen because I'm never going to be able to afford it. And my friends were, they were traveling, they were buying houses, new cars, which I'm not like, I need all the things, but when your car's breaking down constantly, and you haven't gone on a trip, and you're in an apartment after, it's hard to not want that. And so it was last February, so February of 2015, or 2 Februarys ago, so February 2015, I guess it would have been end of January, but anyway, I had been praying for months and months and months for a way to make more money. I thought it was going to end up being freelancing because I was a graphic designer, and I'd freelanced in the past. I hated freelancing though, because it's like I'm using my creative brain all day, and I don't want to have to come home and use it more. I need to be able to turn it off. So, but I figured that's what it was going to be. And then one weekend I took my car in and got to get the oil change. Ended up being hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of repairs. I had no idea how I was going to do that. And then the next Monday, Alyssa messaged me and was like, hey, have you ever thought of doing, joining me in the business? I hate to not, she messaged me one of the messages we send people. And so I prayed on it for a week, because I am not outgoing. I don't like talking to people. I don't like attention. Whenever I have to talk to a bunch of people or talk to a stranger, there's like a disconnect where I can't form words. It's horrible, but I'd been praying for so long that I kept praying about it, and it was for sure what I needed to do. So I joined, and that was February. I went diamond in 5 months, and double diamond in 10 months. No, double diamond in 8 months. Quit my job in 10 months. And to get over the whole shy thing, that was just, I just did. I mean, it wasn't overnight. It wasn't overnight. I use social media, so I send messages. I don't talk face to face to a lot of strangers. But it was me having to get over it, and hosting that first training, and going to that first one-on-one. And it was scary, and I almost puked a couple times, but I did it. And it's not like when you see the pictures of me on stage at a One Team One Mission, I didn't start that way. I started with a meeting with 5 people, and then it turned into 10, and then it turned into 20, and then it turned into being on stage. So if you're seeing all these people doing these big things, don't think that, oh my God, I can't do it because I can't do that right now. That's not how I did it. And I caught the vision after a One Team One Mission, which I'll talk about later.
Yeah,
further down the road in this. Anyway, so I want to know, okay, so Andria is busy. She is so busy. And I want her to talk about, because a lot of my team came on after, or not a lot, but probably half of my team came on after I quit my job. So they didn't get to see me working this business, promoting the Double Diamond with a full-time job. So I want you to touch on that and how the heck you do it with kids and your full-time job.
Okay, well, I mean, honestly, it's crazy, and sometimes I don't even know how I do it. So it's funny when people ask you that question. You definitely have to be kind of structured, and what I mean is, like, okay, when I'm at work, I have my phone on me, and I will run and take bathroom breaks, and while I'm sitting in the bathroom, I am texting and replying to somebody. At the beginning, when I first started, I swear my boss thought I was dealing drugs in the hotel, because people would come up there. They would want to buy wraps from me, but I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm stuck at work till like 5 o'clock. And so they'd be like, well, I can just come get it from you at work. I'm like, okay. So they'd come up there and they would be like, you got the stuff? And I'm like, yeah, give me the money and I'll meet you in the bathroom. And I was constantly wrapping people at my job. And luckily, I'm very fortunate because my boss is really awesome. I think it all goes along with, first of all, your relationship with your employer. I'm the manager of the hotel, so I have a little bit of leeway, but my owner is there every single day. So I do have to keep it balanced because I can't be on my phone all day long. I'm on it more than he probably knows, though. I'll say that. But I'm always taking my phone to the bathroom with me. On my lunch break, when I go sit down, I have my phone. I will sit in my car, post a little video for my team and send it to my team, post in group messages. Whenever I'm talking to customers, especially customers, whenever somebody's interested in the product, I will take a bathroom break because I'm like, yeah, do you want me to go ahead and order that for you right now? And they'll say, yeah, that's fine. And I'll be like, okay, I'm going to call you for 2 minutes, get your information. I'll call you real fast. And so I will run to the bathroom, get a piece of paper and a pen, and I'll write their information down on a piece of paper. And then I'll go back. And then when I get a little break at work, then I'll enroll them. So it's kind of just I'll find 5 minutes of downtime at work. So I work a lot at work just in my 5 minutes. When I come home, it has been a struggle because in the beginning I was spending a lot of time in my business, and then my kids, I feel like I was kind of neglecting them. So it's definitely a challenge in juggling it all. Now I'll come home, pick them up, and I try to make sure that, for 2 hours after work, after cooking dinner, that we just have time. Like today we went and we took a walk in the park. But I've had to get really organized with my kids and structured in the fact that I have them in bed by they're 3 and 4. So I have them in bed by 8 o'clock. They're not always asleep by 8 o'clock, but I have them in bed at 8 o'clock. So we do a lot of our team Zooms at 8:30, or most of our team stuff is at 9 o'clock when we know the kids are in sleep and they're not going to be running up and jumping around. So just finding, whatever time works for you. All of you guys know, whether you work from home, if you have kids, if you don't, it's just all about finding that bit of time that you can set aside. For me, my time is after 8 p.m. at night. And that's the best time anyway, I feel, because that's when people's kids are getting in bed, and that's when people are laying around on the couch, laying in bed, playing on Facebook. So those are the best times that I will make product posts, and when I'll message people, because that seems like everybody's up and they're on Facebook around 8:30 at night. So really just finding whatever time is going to work best for you and just being committed and serious to it. All of my distributors, whenever they sign up, I tell them, I say, you don't have to spend a ton of time on this. Oh, speaking of, there's my daughter right there. Hey, baby. Okay, come here. I tell them you don't have to spend a ton of time on this business, but you do have to stay consistent and you have to dedicate that time. So even if you can only spend 10 to 15 minutes a night on your business while your kids are asleep or while you're laying in bed with your kids, then take that 10 to 15 minutes and stay consistent with it every single night. You know what I mean? So, and that actually goes into my question for you. because I'm curious, I'm about to be at the point where I'm going to be able to leave my full-time job. I'm not there yet because I'm kind of liking saving money, and I meet a lot of people at my job right now, so it's really, really good. But I know I have some moms that have already been able to quit their job, which is amazing. And then I have some that are stay-at-home moms. So Lindsay, I would love for you to, was it hard for you? Did you feel like you had more time, or was it easier or harder to manage your time after you quit your full-time job?
It is so much harder to manage your time when you do this full-time. Because when I worked, I was like you. I mean, I had to say no to some lunches so I could go meet with a potential at lunch, or text during lunch, and work in my car. I'd go get Chick-fil-A and sit in a parking lot and work. And then at night I had to get, 4 hours of work done because that's all I had was after work. But now I have all the time. And so it's a mind shift because I work full time doing this. So 40 hours a week is considered full time. I can guarantee you I put in 40 hours a week, but it's not like 8 to 5. So today I did not do 8 hours worth of work. It didn't end up that way. I had other things come up that I needed to get done. But that just means that one day this week I am probably going to wake up, do my Bible study, my gym, because getting out of bed, having a reason to get out of bed is huge. You don't want to stay in bed till noon, but having a reason to get out of bed. So Bible study, gym every day. And then I'll go sit myself in my office, shut the door, and I'll work until 5 or 6 at night. But I do that so that on other days I can be running errands all day, or go spend time with family, or go to the beach, or so that's not to say I don't work hard, but you have to be disciplined to actually get that work in. So there are things that I don't go a day without doing to make sure I'm being productive. I make sure that I send at least 2 to 3 new messages minimum a day.
Oh, that's good.
I follow up and sometimes it's right before bed. Sometimes I'm out and about, but that's on my list of things I have to do every day. That's all I got out today. I got 3 messages out today, but I feel really good about them. If I'm not going to follow up with people, how there are people you follow up with on Fridays, and then there are people that it's time for you to follow up with now. If I'm not going to follow up with them on Friday, I have to do at least 1 follow-up every day.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I'm going to take all these notes because I know, honestly, I feel like I get more done on the days I work than on my days off. So I'm definitely going to need all the tips I can get from you when I do quit my job.
Yeah. Posting is never optional.
Yeah, definitely.
Some days I don't get around to post. I post maybe 1 before and after, and that's not ideal. I'm not going to say, only post 1. No, you try to post 3 or 4, or 3 or 4 business ones. But if you're out and about, post about it. Even if you're at Marshall's, take a picture of you at Marshall's, because there's someone on your Facebook that wishes they were at Marshall's right then and not behind a desk.
Oh, I know. I always get so jealous when I see your posts.
Yeah. I mean, you think that you're doing the most mundane thing like grocery shopping, but you're grocery shopping at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. So take a picture. Whatever you're doing, post about it. If you're just having a late, some days I will work from bed. If I'm just not feeling very well, I'll work from bed. And so regardless of what you're doing that day, posting is not optional. Find something to post, find a time to post, do it.
I completely agree. And something I wanted to add, whenever you talked about just whatever you're doing, posting it and making it like a thing. For instance, me, one time I did this, I was like, I'm dropping off samples of Confianza to stressed out mamas today. I wasn't. I was sitting at home.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting out because everybody thought I was already out. And so they're like, oh, pick me, pick me. And so I just went and I brought them greens, Confianza, just little goodies. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up getting 2 customers and a distributor out of that day. Nice. And so I was sitting at home. I didn't have anything to do. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to, make a post up. And then I ended up actually doing it. So I like that.
The other things are if you're sitting around and you're not doing something productive, because I will find myself in the middle of the day and get home, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm scrolling through my phone and I'm like, you have to be very aware. So I stop myself and I'm like, okay, what could I be doing right now? And you have to be very disciplined about that to not get lost in your day. And the last thing I'll say is you really need to be intentional about planning adventures. Like, you're not doing anything, go explore a part of the city so that you can take pictures of it. Like, go do something. Go try something new. Go drive to a new place and take pictures, post about it, create an adventure, because it's not always, some days it is me in my pajamas behind a desk all day, and I'm going to need pictures for that day to post. But I'm not going to want to post me just being lazy. Well, I'm not being lazy, but I'm working. It's just not glamorous. So I'm going to use an old adventure picture. So go do things. And then you can talk about it, and you'll have more posts that way. But yeah. Oh, and alarms. I set alarms for everything so I don't forget to follow up and do, because your day gets away from you.
Yeah, I have alarms for everything.
Yeah.
I'll forget if I don't.
Okay, so before I ask you this question, Andrea wanted me to touch on how I know Alyssa. We're going to talk about sponsors because people on Facebook and that's outside looking in know that we're friends. Alyssa and I are good friends. It didn't start out that way. So if you're thinking that you and your sponsor aren't really close friends, that's okay. Alyssa and I had a purely business relationship when we started. I would only text her about business every time because she lived in Lubbock at the time. Every time she was in town, we met and we only talked about business. And that's how the friendship formed. So yeah, don't think that just because you and your sponsor aren't friends that you shouldn't bug them. But my question for Andrea, because my team has heard me say it a million times, is how much did you talk to your sponsor when you first started? And how do you think that was beneficial?
Well, me and Christina, we were already friends. We'd already known each other for a few years before that. It Works has definitely made us closer. I will tell you that. I literally, when I started, I would just go to her house all the time. And I did not go to her house that often before. I mean, every now and then we would hang out like we were friends, but we weren't super close. We were kind of just more like acquaintance friends. But as soon as I started the business, she really took me under her wing. And she was like, come over, let's do our dream boards. Let's do this. And so I would just go sit at her house and we would drink coffee. And that's how I learned everything. She would pull up her computer and I would just look at her e-suite with her. And then we started doing vendor shows together, wrap parties. I still, to this day, will take her with to a wrap party with me. I still ask her to go. We did a team training last week, and I still ask her to go. So we really stay connected, and she's really good about that too. She wants to stay connected with everybody on her team. And so as my team has grown, I still try to keep her involved. But it's so important because that's how I learned everything. And it's just like a job, if you're in a job, people can tell you how to do something, but until you actually get there and you're like, I've always been somebody to train somebody that like walks you through it while you're standing beside me. I'll talk you through it while you do it because that's how you're going to learn. And so getting plugged in with your sponsor is the best thing that you can do because that's how you're going to learn. So, and like I said, to this day, I'm still, hey, you want to go to a wrap party with me? You want to go do a vendor show? So, and the same thing with my sister, my sister, we were close, but I mean, It Works has made us like best friends, like inseparable. And so we were not this close before It Works. And it's just crazy, whenever you start talking about business and we're talking every single day, like it's just made our relationship so much stronger. So staying connected with your sponsor is extremely important.
I agree. Sorry, I was muted.
It's okay. Looking at some of my questions I had for you. One thing I really wanted you to talk about, we're talking about sponsors and staying involved, is Lindsay last year, she won a full cabin on the cruise, and I know I've seen her go to just about every single event there is, and I think that's so awesome. I always love seeing her pictures. So Lindsay, I wanted to talk a little bit about the cruise, like how to win the cruise. I know they even used one of your quotes. It Works used one of your quotes, which is really cool. And then just the cruise experience and why it's important to go to events like that from corporate.
Well, the cruise was amazing. I didn't know what to expect, but it was unbelievable. You get to rub shoulders with people who are big names. I don't really like to say that because they're just like everybody else. And you see that when you rub shoulders with them. You see the big social media names, the Dunns, Jocelyn Yates, Cammie Dempsey. I mean, we saw everybody. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Like Sean McClain was 3 doors down from our room. Like the big social, they're loud on social media. That's how people know who they are. But yeah, you get to rub shoulders with these people, and learning that they're normal people it's so business changing, because you see these top earners and these ambassador diamonds, these black diamonds, and you're like, they're not any different from me. They're being dumb. They're having a good time. They can hold a conversation. Like, I can do that. And that was the biggest thing for me. It's also really fun just to be surrounded on a boat with thousands of people that have your same mindset, that are doing the same weird thing that you are. That is pretty awesome. And it was just fun to relax. You know, the internet on the boat sucks, so there really wasn't work to be done. So we just relaxed and had a great time, and so that was pretty fun. Which it was a good thing that the internet wasn't working, because all of us on the boat probably would have been working if it was. So that was cool. I go to events because an event is what changed my business. That's why I preach it. I went to It Works You. For those of you who don't know, I went to It Works You about a month and a half into my business, middle of March, the one in Dallas run by Ashley. I had no idea what to expect. I drove there by myself to meet Alyssa, hopefully, like I was hoping to see her there. And I'd signed a bunch of customers. I did. I made a decent paycheck, my first paycheck, because I had signed a ton of customers, but I hadn't signed a distributor. After that, it was like a snowball. Like my business boomed, and it hasn't slowed down. And it's because of the things I heard at an It Works You. And I still go to them, and I still go to One Team, One Missions and trainings, and I get on Zooms and I listen to corporate calls, because every time that you go to something or you listen to something, you're going to be dealing with different things in your business. You're going to be a different person. I'm a different person now than I was at that One Team, One Mission in March of 2015, you know? So you're going to hear something that you may have heard before, but you're going to hear it with new ears, or you're going to hear something totally different from a new leader who wasn't even in the business the last event you went to, who has a new piece of wisdom that you've never heard before. And business tips, the business tips at these things are incredible. So if you truly want your business to succeed, you will get to events, and there is nothing that can stop you. You'll find your childcare. You'll drag your husband along. You will do whatever it takes. There's a lot of husbands that go to those things. So don't think that that's weird, but they do. But you'll get there because they're so beneficial. And what I will say is, when you don't want to go, so say you've bought your ticket for the One Team, One Mission or It Works You, and then you're just like, oh, I so don't want to go. I just don't want to go. That is when you have to get there. You have to make yourself go. The last One Team, One Mission, I did not want to go at all, but I had to, because I was on a panel and I didn't have a choice. Alyssa would have killed me if I didn't go, but I was in a funk, like just in general in life, and I just didn't want to go. That's not what I wanted to do with my Saturday night. And I had to go, and I went because I had to, and it just lit my fire, because Ashley Sinclair always says, your fire can't go out if you stay close to the flame. So if you stay close to the people, the events, the tips, all that stuff, you're going to stay passionate about this. So when you don't want to go is when you really, really need to be going. So that's my take on it then. And to go off of that, Andrea does a lot of stuff with her team, and they all have kids, and she has kids. So I want her to touch on how they make that happen and how they keep it a priority, I guess. when you have kids to take care of?
Okay. Well, like I talked about earlier, it's definitely a balance. So one of the things I mentioned is we do a lot of the team Zooms we all do is all like 9 o'clock at night, 9:30 sometimes, 10. We've done them at 10 o'clock after the kids are in bed. You know, when I first started, I remember when I went to my first wrap party, and I went and I sat around with my friends and I made like $75, and me and Christina went and I made $75 and I got like some customers. And I remember it was so exciting. So I was like, seriously, I just got to sit here with my friends and talk about stretch marks and share our, mommy war stories. And this is work, like this is seriously, I just made money at this, So it's a balance between, we do a lot of kid-friendly stuff, and then we also do some things where you just have to make it a priority where, you just have to find a babysitter. For me in the beginning, before I had any money to, hold on. She was asleep, and then she heard me talking, and then she woke up. So anyway, before I had money to like pay for babysitters in the beginning, I had my mom help me one night a week. And she loves spending time with the kids. So that's one thing you can do is get a family member to help you one night of the week. And that night of the week, that would be the night that we did our team meetings or parties or whatever. And I knew every Thursday night was my team night, my team meeting, where I would get together with my team. And, the biggest thing, I love how they say, don't make your why your excuse, because it can be very, very easy to say, I can't do this because I have kids, and I've been in there. There's been so many things that I missed out on, especially last year. I missed, the cruise, and I won the cruise. There's so many things that it was really hard to, but it's because, I had kids and I didn't have anybody to watch them. But you definitely, oh my goodness. What are you doing? Sorry, guys. Okay. She was like freaking me out, acting like she was choking. Okay. So anyway, you just have to make some things a priority. I would just suggest finding one night a week that you can find a family member to come sit with your kids for a few hours, and that can be your wrap party night, or that can be your team night. Have them go to a grandparent's house, something like that. We've also done tons of meetings in indoor playgrounds. We've done trainings in indoor playgrounds. We will go to Chick-fil-A. We will do like Saturday breakfast sometimes. And they have like, a big play area where the kids can play. And we'll just pull up like 6 tables and put them all together, and the kids will play while we talk. And of course, the moms are up jumping around, grabbing their kids. But the important thing is they're there, and if you have a lot of moms on your team, then you have to figure out how you can still interact with those people. So it's very important to find time for just you and your business. But if you have a lot of moms on your team, think about that too. And whenever you're trying to plan meetings or parties and stuff like that. In the very beginning, whenever I started doing wrap parties and I started growing my team, like I said, we have a lot of kids. We have a lot of moms on our team. So in the beginning, I had a lot of people that would have problems, getting people to their parties. I noticed like they would host parties, but nobody would come. And so I started thinking about it, and I was like, would I go to a party? And to be honest, I have never been one of those people that go to these kind of parties, wrap parties, whatever. I hosted one like 3 years ago, but I've never go to these. Why? Because the reason is because I'm not going to pay a babysitter to come to my house to sit with my kids, so I can go be away from my kids on my only day off to go sit at a party where I feel obligated to spend money and buy something. You know what I mean? Pay a babysitter to do that, to go spend more money. And I'm not going to take my kids because they're going to be like this, and they're going to be wild and crazy and running around, and I'm going to be stressed, and I'll be leaving in tears, and it just won't be pretty. So I thought about that, and a lot of us are moms, so what works better is like come and go parties. And so saying, hey, come by my house between 2 to 4 after church on Sunday. Come slap a wrap on. If you want to try it, I'll have free samples. It's okay. Bring your kids. We'll have snacks. You're just going to be there a few minutes. And so a lot of people on my team do that because it works better. And so if we say, bring your kids, you're just going to be there for a few minutes, that works better. So just kind of find where you are in your life and work with that. Don't try to change it up, like if you have kids and all your friends have kids, figure out how you can market to your friends that have kids. Figure out how you can do trainings with your friends that have kids. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Okay. In the future, we're actually even talking about, hopefully soon, we want to start being able to get like some trusted babysitters to help us too. There's an indoor playground. We found a church here, and it has like 3 stories, and it has like 3 stories of playgrounds. Well, there's an upstairs area that has a couch, and it's like quiet. So what we're planning on doing for future trainings and meetings for the moms is hiring a few babysitters, having all the moms, hey, bring a couple bucks for your kids. That way they'll have, somebody to watch them, and then we'll just be sitting upstairs having coffee in this quiet area. So
it's a good idea. Okay. Let's see. I think that's I think we have one more question coming from you before we wrap up.
Oh, I wanted to ask you a question as well. So I'll go ahead and ask you yours. I know, so last year you were on, you were one of Alyssa's highest enrolling distributors, and you promoted really, really quickly. So I would like to, I feel like I know you, and you're really strong, and you are a high recruiter. So for some of those people that say they feel like they recruit a lot and you kind of have to build your business, do you have any tips and just advice on building your own business, being your own rock star, just that kind of thing?
Yeah. Lately I've been hearing complaints from, I guess I hear other leaders talk about it, so it must be across the board, but I've been getting it on our team. People kind of complaining about not getting any help, like placement, which I love the business because we can build our team. We can place people where we need to. And some people, if you are blessed to be in a spot that someone needs to build, that's just gravy. And that adds on, and that allows you to promote faster if you meet that work with your own work. But a lot of the times that's not the case. And I get so upset, I think, when people complain about that being why they're not promoting, because I built my own business. The only help I got was I was in a spot when I first got started that Alyssa needed a Ruby. So I was her Ruby. She built me to Ruby. But then I built myself to Diamond, not meaning I built an Emerald and I went Diamond. I mean, that Ruby chart went away, and then I built my entire Diamond by myself with, of course, my team members enrolling people here and there. But I guess that's why I get so mad, because it's like, I did it. Yeah, I was built to Ruby, but I built myself to Diamond, which shows that I didn't need to be, I would have gotten there on my own. It just wouldn't have happened as quickly. But I got there. And that one Ruby chart, it's just a 400 box for me. I don't use it as part of anything. Eventually I will down the line, but I'm a double diamond and I don't use it for anything but a 400 box. So it's definitely your business. And if you want to go diamond or double diamond, whatever it is, do it. That's on you. What I think one of the biggest things that got me rolling so fast in my team was, I remember when we were at Ashley's, and I didn't really know anybody else other than Alyssa at the time and my team, but being there, just listening to other people talk about their teams and how, half of them aren't working, but when I was an Emerald, everyone but like 2 people on my team was working, which is rare. I know that, but everyone was working, and they were working hard, and they were going for their own promotions. And I think a lot of that was because, well, one, we were so small that we were such a tight-knit group, but also I was my own rock star. If you look in the mirror and the person you see looking back at you, the actions that you see yourself doing isn't what you would want in a distributor that you sign, then you need to change, because you're not going to have a team that works like you want them to work if you are not doing it too. You have to work hard, and you have to put in the effort. if you want your team to work that hard. And you're probably going to have to work harder than you want your team to work because they're not seeing all the behind the scenes. They're going to meet what you're doing and what they see you doing. And my team doesn't know everything I do because it's behind the scenes, but they see that I'm posting consistently. They see I'm putting people on the computer. They see me following up, but so they know I'm working hard. So I expect them to meet my efforts. So all that to say, if you want a rock star team, you have to be the number one rock star, and it doesn't mean you have to go enroll 100 people a year. It means you have to be consistent. You can't ever give up. You have to push through the hard times. You have to talk to more people than anyone on your team is talking to. Someone below me could pass me up, but I will never let that happen because I'm going to outwork them. It's kind of Alyssa's mentality too. She's like, you can try to outwork me, but you never will. Like, that's the mentality I have, because it would be awesome for someone on my team to outrank me or outwork me, but I will not let that happen because I'm going to work harder.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's why my team rocks, to be honest, because I work hard and they see that. So if you see the people that you have and you're like, why aren't they working? And you're getting frustrated because no one's signing anyone up. Well, look at yourself. Are you being consistent? Are you sending messages? Are you following up? Because the more work that you're doing, the more advice and tips and, hey, I sent this message. This works. Try it. That you're going to be able to send your team. There was 1 month last year that I kind of stepped back a little bit, to be honest. And I hate that I did it. I regret it to this day. And my team just kind of, because I didn't have any tips to give because I wasn't sending very many messages, so I didn't know it was working. And I didn't have any advice to give. I didn't have any tough love. I didn't have any motivational anything because I wasn't being that rock star. And now that once I got out of that funk and my own rock star, I am a better coach. I'm a better leader. My team is thriving. So, all that to say, be your own rock star. Stop complaining about your team and you be the distributor that you want to sign.
I love it. Preach it. I actually just shared that with my team the other day. I was like, if you're focusing on your success and you're still working and you're still trying to outwork your month before, if you're still adding distributors, you're still adding little customers, you're still doing that, then you don't have to stress so much about those people that aren't working. It all just kind of falls in place. You can fill a 400 box really quick if you're still adding 4 customers and 3 distributors every month, like we should be trying to. It's not going to happen every month, but if you're trying, then all of a sudden the ones that aren't working, it's not so hard and it's not, it's not so stressful. You don't have to worry about it. I don't stress about it anymore about certain people not working.
Yeah, I've never been about driving dead weight. If someone doesn't want to work, I'll do my best to reach out to the coach, to be like, hey, pay attention to me. But if someone truly doesn't want to work and they're ignoring me or they're just not doing anything or saying, okay, yeah, I'll do it, and then they don't do anything, and they've proven time and time again that they're not going to work, bye. I'm sorry. I'm going to go find someone who wants to work because I'm not going to let someone's inactivity affect my future and my paycheck. Especially this is my livelihood. I don't have time for that. This is what's keeping my house air conditioned and lit. I'm not going to waste my time on people who just won't work.
Mm-hmm.
So
good.
But I'm always available if they're ready to come back. But I just won't waste my time. But anyway, the last thing that we are both going to touch on, we were both in the top recruiters for distributors on Alyssa's team. So we're going to each give you our own top 3 tips for signing distributors, because that's a question I know I get all the time. I'm sure you do too. So you first, what are your top 3 tips?
Okay. So, I'm going to be honest, like I was telling Lindsay earlier when we were texting, I was like, I feel like it's really the same tips that we hear, that we tell everybody. Y'all probably all heard me say it before. It's just really the same tips. But the number one thing is to ask. A lot of people are just so afraid to ask. And we think that simply making a Facebook post is going to draw people in, and it doesn't. The biggest thing that I do is I ask people, I message them. So number one, you have to ask them. Number 2 is I always tell them why I think they would be amazing. I don't just say, hey, do you want to make extra money? Hey, because a lot of people are just so skeptical and they don't even know what we do. They don't know why we do it. They just, and when you say network marketing company or it works, there's So I always tell people why. Every time I approach them, I say, this is why I think you would be amazing. You have an awesome network, or you're really friendly, or you have so many likes on your Instagram pics. Like, seriously, all we do is like post selfies and you could be making money. I always tell them why, because the biggest thing about this company, what I'm finding is before they even sign up, I'm already trying to instill that belief in them, because I believe that not every single person, but most of the people I talk to, I believe that eventually they are going to join my team. So every time I approach them, even before they sign up, I want to instill that belief, because you know how hard it is when you start this business and you're like, you get told no a few times and you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. You're just like, I'm not good at this. This isn't for me. That's my coffee. Thank you. This isn't for me. So in the beginning, telling them, this is why you would rock at this. And so then every time I talk to them, I'm still telling them why I think they would be amazing. So I feel like they're already getting belief before they even sign up. And then the last thing that I like to do is, hold on one second. Let me get it. Oh my goodness, Ezra. Okay, go sit down, baby girl. Go. Come here. Okay. Here, go sit down. Sorry, I was trying to keep her entertained for a second. Okay, the last thing is just don't get discouraged whenever they tell you no. Last night, I was actually telling Lindsay this when we were talking. I told her, to be honest, every single distributor that has told me yes the very first time when I just like approach them and they're like, yeah, sure, here's my credit card, I'm signing up, and I've never talked to them again. Not one of them have ever done anything. Mm-hmm. All of them have pretty much, they ignore me after like 2 days. I can't get a hold of them, or they won't even answer my messages about turning their auto shipment off, because they're just going to get boxes of wraps that they don't want. So every time that I've signed a distributor, the very first time when they said yes, like, it never was what I thought it would be. So I never get discouraged when people tell me no, because every time they tell me no, I just think, okay, when it's their time, they're going to be ready. Like I told you, I said no for 3 years. I kept saying no. And most of my distributors have told me no like 7 times. Seriously. I have some that have still been telling me no for a year, and they're just now a year and a half, and they're just signing up. So with every time that they say no, don't get discouraged with that. Just think, okay, well, they're just one no closer. They're just one no closer. And you have to believe that eventually they will sign up when it's their time, but you can't take it personal. And like I said, follow up. Like, that doesn't mean no, okay, I'm not going to talk to him. No, like I told you, most of the time I've talked to my distributor 7 times, a year and a half, and they still say no, or they still ignore me. But I'll still, every couple months, just send them another message. So.
Yeah, I have an Emerald on my team who ignored me, not even responded to anything, not just no, like ignoring me for 5 months. You can't give up on people.
I want to hear yours.
Yeah, my tips, those are obviously on my list, but I had to choose different ones. So my number one is the one tip I heard at the One Team, One Mission that changed my entire business. I don't remember who said it. It might have been Denise Walsh, but I can't remember. It was, don't make the decision for someone. And you'll also hear people say this, don't prejudge. People put their highlight reels on social media, and that's what we're seeing. People, they want you to think that they can easily afford the house they're living in. That vacation did not take them 6 months to save up for. When they get a flat tire, they want you to think that it's not going to be hard to afford. They're not going to tell. Some people will, and they're the people that complain about everything. They'll tell you that they're broke, but the normal person on Facebook is not going to just blast out, I need extra money, I'm broke. Because a lot of the people that I signed early on after I heard this are people that I thought were doing just fine. They were in nice houses in nice areas. They had nice cars. They had jobs, like career jobs. Like, I thought they were fine. But, people have student loans, and then they have kids, and, just you never know. So you might see someone and think, oh, no, they don't want it. No, it's not for them. They're not going to be interested at all. And maybe they're not, but maybe they will be. So, and you don't know, this business could change their family's life forever. And you have to approach the business as, this is a gift I'm offering you and you're stupid not to take it. And that's kind of my mentality. So it's like, yeah, I see you're a big fancy lawyer, but look, I don't have to wake up to an alarm, and I make great money doing this, and you would be stupid not to take it to make some extra money. So anyway, that's my number one. Don't make the decision for someone. Ask everybody. Number two is follow up. I know we just touched on this, but in 2 times in a year and a half, a year and a half, I have not had to follow up with people. And like Andrea said, they haven't done anything. Those people that I didn't have to follow up with. So really, it's because the busy people are the best people. You want people to be busy because they get stuff done. And you're going to have to follow up with busy people. You're going to have to follow up with people who are hesitant. There's a lot of reasons that you're going to have to follow up with people, but you've got to. If you don't follow up, if I didn't follow up, I'd have 2 distributors on my team who do nothing. I mean, truly, that would be my reality. So definitely keep following up. And number 3 is don't spam. By that, I mean, don't add someone on Facebook, the next day send them a message. That's not how this business works. Don't, when you see someone on Instagram, don't just send them a message. Like, you got to build that relationship. I'm not saying message them and get to be their best friend before you ask them. I'm saying give it a couple weeks, like their stuff, comment, build that social relationship with them so that you can have a genuine reason to tell them why they'd be good, like Andrea said before. Because the more unique and personal your message is, the better. You should not, and this is what I say by spam, you should not be able to just copy paste to 50 people and say, I messaged 50 people today. Well, no, you didn't. You copy and pasted to 50 people. Hang on, my phone's ringing. But yeah, you should not be able to do that. That is spam, and you're going to get ignored 9.9 out of 10 times when you do that. So build your relationship, and it can be, you know, I have a list of people that I make sure to actually go to their Facebook page and comment and like on stuff that I might have missed, which is very rare when I miss something because I have my list set up and everything, but I want to make sure that they are seeing my name pop up. I want to make sure that they're seeing my post pop up. And eventually, once they start liking my stuff, it might be Kaylee pictures or my Bible study pictures, but eventually it's going to start being my work stuff. And after that, then I send them a message. And because I constantly add people and I'm constantly building new relationships, I always have people that's like, okay, today's the day. Okay, today's the day. And it's just constant. So those are my 3 tips.
I like those. I like the don't spam. I think that's good.
Excellent. So that's
do copy and paste.
basically what we had, and we were gonna stay on for a little bit to see if anybody had questions for either one of us. It can just be a question for her, it can just be a question for me, triangle, whatever.
I like questions.
Circle, red, square.
No questions? Nobody? I haven't even looked at the chat.